Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we have a lot of topics to cover to end out the week, including a big announcement about E3. We'll also look at the games that were added to the Nintendo Switch online service. We've got news about all of that, Game Pass, Call of Duty, Metal Gear, and Famitsu Sales. All that coming up, but before we get started, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. That's the best way to let me know you enjoy the content on this channel. Now let's get started. So first, I do want to do a follow-up to yesterday's video. We did get those games announced for the Nintendo Switch online service, and of course it went up about an hour after I had uploaded the video. But you can see the announcement here from Nintendo. We have Dig Dug 2, Mappy Land, and Earthworm Jim 2. Now, I played the original Earthworm Jim, I believe it was on the Genesis, but I never played Earthworm Jim 2, but I see a lot of positive feedback on that, so that might be something to try out. But there's an additional feature that was added too that really wasn't advertised much. You can see here from Go Nintendo, they say, the Switch Online SNES collection, in addition to Earthworm Jim 2, got both Super Mario World and Super Punch-Out SP editions. With Super Punch-Out, the SP edition allows you to take on every circuit from the start of the game. In Super Mario World SP, the whole world gets a different look once you clear the special world. So basically the SP versions take you right to the end of the game on both of these. Next, what is probably the biggest story of the day and probably of the week is that it looks like the digital event for E3 has been cancelled. We have this summary from Games Radar. The E3 2022 digital event, initially meant to serve as an alternative to the in-person show, has reportedly been cancelled as well. Will Powers, a PR lead at PC peripheral giant Razer, broke the news on Twitter, citing an email from the ESA which confirms E3 Digital is officially cancelled for 2022. Razer would reasonably be on the partner mailing list for this kind of news, and while the official E3 and ESA accounts have yet to make an announcement, several industry insiders have supported the claim that E3 2022 Digital is dead. We reached out to the ESA for confirmation, but didn't receive a response at press time. And you can see right here's the tweet that Will Powers sent out. Just got an email, it's official, E3 Digital is officially cancelled for 2022. Lots of mixed feelings about this. So I'm kind of in the same camp here. I've always looked forward to E3, and knowing that we won't have any official event means we're probably going to see announcements just announced here and there. Now we do have Summer Game Fest coming in June, but it didn't really seem to have the hype that E3 did. And it kind of makes sense in a way that E3 is cancelled, although I will miss it, in the fact that really, what's the point of having an organized digital event like this? Nintendo has always done their directs kind of on their own. They've always been the week of E3, but they're never really branded as an E3 direct. Sony has not participated in E3 for several years, and really the only console manufacturer that was participating directly was Microsoft. Now when we had the in-person E3, Nintendo would have a booth, but they didn't do any official presentation there. So it was rumored that Microsoft was going to be doing their own event this summer, so maybe they weren't going to participate in E3. If that was the case, then the three main console manufacturers would have no participation in this digital event. But let me know what you think. Was it really worth having some type of organized E3 event where we get a bunch of announcements in the same week, or does it really not make sense in a digital format? Now I do need to add a little addendum to this segment before we move on to the next one. In the middle of recording this video, the ESA officially confirmed that E3 was cancelled this year. Their official statement is E3 will return in 2023 with a reinvigorated showcase that celebrates new and exciting video games and industry innovations. And there you have the official statement. Now they're saying that E3 is planning to be back next year, I would imagine in person, so we'll just have to wait and see. Next, it looks like Microsoft is adding a new feature to Game Pass. This coming from Windows Central exclusive, Microsoft is moving ahead with an Xbox Game Pass family plan. So basically, if you're familiar with things like Netflix, where you can have one main account and you can add people to it, this is something similar. The description at Windows Central says, "From our information, paying on a higher tier for an Xbox Game Pass family plan will net access for 5 players for games across the entire library and will be cheaper than paying for 5 separate Xbox Game Pass accounts as is necessary today. Utilizing Microsoft's family account system already in use for Office 365, players with the same country will be able to play together using a single Xbox Game Pass subscription managed by a control account holder in much the same way as Netflix. Some details remain unclear for now though. For example, will there be separate family plans for the PC Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass console, or will it be exclusive to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate? And the exact pricing is also unknown as of writing. Besides that, it will reportedly be far cheaper than having to pay for several separate accounts as required today. Now, I think this will be a great option for families that may have multiple Xboxes. I'm the only one that plays mine, so I really won't be able to take advantage of this. And we'll have to see what the actual price is. Right now it indicates that it will be more to add a family option, but you would still save money. Next, we have a few rumors to take a look at. First, from Games Radar, Activision's online services temporarily listed an online status for Call of Duty Black Ops 4 on Nintendo Switch, despite the game not actually being confirmed to be available on the console yet. And we have this tweet here from Call of Duty News that shows this online status, and you can see the Switch there in the bottom left corner is showing that it's online. And the Switch's status was taken off the page fairly quickly, but of course the internet is forever. And this falls in line with several rumors that have been going around that Call of Duty would be coming to the Switch, so I think this is pretty solid bet this is happening, but I don't know what the timeline is yet. And in some other random rumor news, this coming to us from Nintendo Life, Metal Gear 35th anniversary site appears, and we don't know what to think. So as you are aware, this video is coming out on April Fool's Day, and nothing I've had in here is an April Fool's Day joke, but this might be. The page really has no interaction on it except for some links to Konami stuff. But I thought I would take a look at the domain name registration, and of course it's hidden by some type of proxy registration service. But I did compare that to Konami.com, and it was registered by a different company, so take that what you will. But it's also interesting to note that this domain MetalGear35th.com is only registered for 1 year. Since domain registrations are not a very expensive thing, it seems like they would have registered it for longer if this was official. So at this point, I'm hesitant to think that this is for real. This may be somebody just planning an April Fool's Day joke for today, but I guess we'll find out as the day goes through, and also be careful what you read today and make sure that it is legit. And in our last bit of news, let's take a look at the Famitsu sales for the past week. Kirby and the Forgotten Land has taken the top spot, and this is the best-selling first week of any Kirby game ever. So the next best-selling Kirby game after that was Kirby Superstars Ultra, and it only sold about 260,000 its first week. And none of these numbers are counting the digital sales. So I would say this game is definitely a hit for Nintendo, and it'll be interesting to see if it ends up being another evergreen title. But let's go through the rest of the list, and most of these numbers are way lower than what Kirby got, but in 2 we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, then Pokemon Legends Arceus, Elden Ring, Minecraft, Ghostwire Tokyo, which also came out this week, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, Mario Party Superstars, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So kind of a disappointing release for Ghostwire Tokyo. There really wasn't a whole lot of build up to that game, so it doesn't surprise me that it didn't do well, but I thought it would have sold more than what it did here. But let's take a look now at the hardware sales. You have the PlayStation 5 kind of wedging itself in there in the number 2 spot between all the Switch family of systems. And then in 5th place, you have the digital edition of the PlayStation 5. And the new 2DS LL is still in 6th place with 280 units sold. I'm still thinking these may just be people's who's died and they're replacing it. But if there was some type of clearance sale, maybe people would just pick these up to play around or hack on them. But then in 7th and 8th, we have both Xbox Series systems, and PlayStation 4 is in 9th place. So obviously the PlayStation 5 I think is still pretty much hampered by manufacturing issues, but it does seem like they were able to ship quite a few more this week than they did last week, so that's good for Sony. And in a side note, you may have noticed it seems like the Xbox Series X seems to be a lot easier to find, at least in the United States. I do have to wonder if Microsoft is moving most of their inventory to North America just because the Xbox doesn't do as well in Japan, so why ship a whole bunch to sit on shelves in Japan? And that's all we have for today's video. It's a lengthy one. We had a whole lot of announcements today after not a whole lot that came out yesterday. So tell me what you think about any of the topics we covered today. Are you gonna miss E3 this summer? Maybe it's just pointless to hold a digital event when every company can do their own thing. And would you take advantage of a family option on Game Pass? Let me know about those or any of the other topics we covered today. I want to thank you for watching, have a great weekend, and be good.